So I wanted to start off with a quote, and this quote is from Lynn Twist, who wrote The Soul of Money, which is the class we're going to be teaching at the end of September. When we are focused constantly on the next thing, the next dress, the next car, the next job, the next vacation, the next home improvement, we hardly experience the gift of that which we have now. In our relationship with money, more is better distracts us from living more mindfully and richly with what we have. And I think that is interesting. So the slides didn't update. I apologize for that. So actually I'm talking about the basic laws of prosperity, and that is the basic law. The basic law basically is what we think about manifests into our reality. It is one of the foundations of what we teach here. I mean, the foundation of what we teach is basically prayer. However, we teach affirmative prayer. Why affirmative prayer? Because we believe absolutely that our that our thoughts create. And so in an affirmative prayer, what we are doing is creating what we choose to have manifest in our life. And so what I was taught probably in Practitioner 1 training, because one of the questions on the exam is explain this philosophy in terms to a child. What do we teach here? And it was always seed, soil, plant. Seed is your thought. So if I have a thought, and the analogy would be the seed is an apple seed. The soil is what we call the law. The soil is that place within us that holds the goodness, that says yes, yes, this is going to happen, yes. Our subconscious. With the seed, the soil is the soil. It's where we plant the seed, right? The manifestation, if my thought is, I'm unworthy, that is not going to change out into a worthy manifestation. If I plant an apple seed, it doesn't matter how much I take care of the soil, how much I water it, how much sun I put on it. I'm not growing oranges. I'm still going to manifest apples. And that is, to me, the basic law. It doesn't have to be of prosperity. It's the basic law of life. That you can look out at your life and you can absolutely blame everybody out there for everything that's ever happened to you. And what if you just reined that all in and thought, as my mother used to say to me so lovingly, Gayle, what's the common denominator in all of these stories? I loved her deeply, my mother. At that time, I didn't know about this philosophy. I didn't understand what she was saying. What they teach us is, in an energy field, we're like magnets. We are drawing to us those experiences, those people into our lives based on what we are either consciously thinking or who we are allowing to subconsciously drive our bus. Does everybody understand what I mean when I say that? Because we all have that small child in us, and most of our small children, unfortunately, hang on to little things that they made up. Right? You have an adult that says something to you as a small child, and because they don't explain to you what they're really trying to say, like they'll say, don't do that, that's bad. And what a child hears is, you're bad. That's what they hear. And they make up stories. And if we aren't conscious, or let's just talk about me, when I wasn't conscious, then all of those little stories I made up, I allowed that person to drive my bus. Now, let's think about that. Most of our children Each one of us has our own inner child. They develop all of these beliefs by the time they're 6. Anybody going to put a 6-year-old in the driver's seat of their car and say, go ahead, drive. We'll see how much fun that is. And yet, we continue to create things in our life, and when it looks like chaos and havoc, it's because it is. Because you are playing a part in it. Even though it may really, really feel like and seem like somebody out there is pulling your strings. It's them. They did this. They don't understand. Not true. They play a part in it. Guess what? That's their side of the street. I don't know why those people get called into my life. That's none of my business. You'll remember last week when I talked about losing everything, and I said I sat down and really had that long discussion with myself. Why did this happen to me? What was I thinking? What was my belief? Not what was going on in the market, not what's going on politically. What did I believe that caused that chaos in my life? And I said, I don't know what Paul believed. I don't know why Paul was, what his opportunity to learn was. Because that's his to figure out, right? Even though we're married, even though the experience may seem to be the same, it's not. My experience is mine, his experience, his. And so how are we, even though it's called the basic laws of prosperity, it really is the basic law of life. How are you being in the world? And how often are you telling your story to someone over and over and over again? And what the universe does, then it gives you more opportunities to tell that same story. Now, the characters may seem different. Energetically, you will get to that point where you'll go, this feels really familiar to me. Really familiar to me. Took me 2 husbands to figure that out. Because the second one, I absolutely thought, absolutely different than the first husband. Absolutely different. Until that one day, that feeling overtook me and I was like, oh, how did I end up here again? Right? How many of you have experienced that? Right? And it doesn't have to be in a relationship. It could be in jobs. How often do you leave a job and then you end up in another job and those same people are at that new location? How did that happen? It's like they followed you. Like, where's she going to go to work now? I'll go there. Right? They follow you. No, they don't. You create them. You absolutely create them. Have you ever thought about somebody and you think, absolutely, do not like that person? And I have talked about this before. It was down at Every Day, and sorry, Kim, I would pick a really good friend of mine because she knows I adore her, and I would say, you know, I don't like Kim. I don't know what it is about Kim. Everything about her, I don't like her. And then 10 people are, oh, Kim's my best friend. I just adore her. Everything about her. So it's not Kim, is it? It's not Kim. When you don't like somebody, it's not them, folks. It's you. That's the basic law of life. It is you. You are creating that. You have to figure out, who is Kim? Because it's, I mean, you know, Kim's just a name. Who is she energetically? Who is she reminding me of? What is it about her that makes my whole body go, wow, and everybody else is like, ah. Right? Because it's ours. And that is what we teach here, the very basis of what we teach here. Reverend Pamela is going to remember this because Reverend Pamela Grace, thank you for being here. I met her. She was one of my very first people that I met at Eastside Center for Spiritual Living. No, Center for Spiritual Living Eastside, Reverend Susie Shaddle's church in Kirkland. One of the very first people. And Reverend Susie, and I have said this before, and because it's important, I'll probably repeat it over and over again. We love this philosophy, right? Absolutely love it, because we get to take responsibility for our life. And that's what most of us hate about this philosophy, is we get to take responsibility for our life. And that's a whole new ball game. At least it was for me. It was like, well, wait a minute. And, Susie was gentle, direct. She wasn't really gentle. She was just direct. That's why I loved her. And so to really begin to understand who you are, who your life is, what that looks like, and that you're co-creating that always. So they say energetically we're like magnets. And so who are you attracting into your life? And you look around, and I look around here and think, good job. Good job. 20 years ago, I could have looked around and went, who are these people, and what are they doing, and why am I associating with them? Wah, 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 wah. Because that's what I believed about myself, right? So look around in your life, and if there's things in your life that you are absolutely in belief that it's chaotic, I don't want it any longer in my life, then either call me, call a practitioner, sit with somebody so you can start to peel back that onion of what is it you believe that has absolutely called this into your life. What are your behaviors? Because it's easy to point a finger out. And remember, we've all seen that. There's many, many memes out there. One finger out, 3 fingers back at me, right? So I can point all I want to. But the majority of the pointing comes right back home. Right back home. And that is the foundation. The very foundation of what we believe. And it's harsh sometimes. It can be harsh sometimes to own up to stuff. Like, what is my part in this? How did I draw this in? Why did I draw this in? What is it I believe? How many times am I going to continue to tell that story? It was really funny after the picnic. Cynthia said to me, Gayle, do you realize how many times you talked about having squirrel moments? And I said, yes. She said, do you think if you quit talking about it, maybe they wouldn't happen? And I said, but then what would I do with all the squirrels I have in my office that have been gifted to me? And she's right. And I think for me, I own that, and I love that about my personality. So maybe I won't give it up. Maybe I will. It is what it is. I obviously talk about it, so it keeps creating itself. Because that's how it works. That is how it works. If I quit talking about it, would they stop? Yes, I believe they would. I absolutely believe they would. And yet for me, maybe I don't want to, that's a decision. So there again, that's a decision each of you have to make. There are some stories that you might go, yeah, I like that story. It is part of my personality. I am going to continue to tell it until I bore myself or bore everyone around me with it, right? Because it makes up who I am. Or you might be telling a story and you go, the next time you start to tell it, it might stop you right in your tracks and think, Remember the story about the 2 wolves? Have you all heard that? Cherokee Indian story, 2 wolves. A young boy asked his grandfather about personalities and said each one of us has 2 wolves that live inside of us. The wolf of love, and I'm not telling this absolutely appropriately because I can't remember what he said, but the wolf of love, and let's say the wolf of hate. And the young boy said, "But grandfather, which wolf wins?" He said, "The wolf you feed. That's the wolf that's going to win. Which wolf are you feeding? Which wolf do you feed? Because that is the wolf that's going to survive." Every single one of us. And it doesn't matter if we're ministers or practitioners or just or community members or people in your office. It doesn't matter. We are all creating all the time by what we think and what we verbalize. And remember, when we verbalize something, it gives it more energy. When we verbalize it and we're telling more people, then it multiplies, right? Because of consciousness. So just imagine. I'm going to have squirrel moments now probably for another week because I verbalized that, and there's many of you here. I'm going to have to be very conscientious about being mindful, right? If I want to unhook my statements. So what stories are you telling that are creating a life that you would prefer to shift? Because it's only going to shift when you stop telling it. And you have to listen to what you're saying. And you have to listen to what you're thinking. Do you know how many times I used to say, "I'm so clumsy"? You could ask Reverend Susie, because I think she took score. She said, "You know, Gayle, you may want to give that up. You may want to quit saying that you're clumsy as you're walking into walls." Right? There are things that we say about ourselves that are so automatic, we don't even realize they're saying them unless a really good friend says, like Cynthia, do you know how often you say that about yourself? Little things. "I'm stupid." No, you're not. No, you're not. Those things have as much power as "I am a beautiful, bold, confident individual." How many of you say that to yourselves? Yay! Winner, winner, winner at the back of the room. Right? We should all say that. Every single one of us. Every single day. What if you woke up and said that? Really? You woke out of bed, your first thought was, "I am beautiful, handsome, confident, bold individual. I'm God in form. How could I be anything less?" Right? Can you imagine how the energy of the planet would start to shift if we all did that every single morning? Every single morning. I'll forget by tomorrow morning. No, I won't. I'm sorry. And so it is. Right. Thank you. That, if you want to, West. I love that. Because that's what Susie used to say to me. She wouldn't say I was right. She wouldn't say I was wrong. She would take a statement regardless of what it was. Most of the time it was not life affirming. And she would just say to me, "And so it is. And so it is." And I'd be like, "No, it's not. No." Right? So I'm not going to forget. I'm going to start my morning tomorrow morning. I am going to wake up. I wake up tomorrow morning. Notice the difference? I'm not going to start tomorrow morning. I'm not willing to. Tomorrow I wake up, and the first words out of my mouth are, "I am bold. I am confident. I am beautiful. I am God in form." That makes me very powerful. What a day, what a way to juice up my day. It's like I've just filled up my tank, right? Each one of you, make your mantra, whatever it is. Make it easy so you don't forget. You know, a lot of people, they have a mantra and it's a paragraph long. Well, then you have to carry around a piece of paper. Make it 10 words or less. Something that really speaks to you This is an assignment. Write this down. Something that really speaks to you. I want you, starting tomorrow morning, my hope is that you will put this to test for the next 30 days. Or let's just say till September 30th. Every single morning, you're going to wake up, and that's the first thing you say to the universe. Whatever it is. If you want to use the words I use, fine. If you don't, make up your own. And I want you to notice the shift in your energy and watch the shift in the energy in the people around you. Because miraculously, they will change. Because if we're magnets, they have to. Because who changed? I did. Right? Is everybody willing to do that? Yes? And if you're not, that's okay. I would challenge anybody that says, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Why not? What are you afraid of? It's not hard, right? Nothing evil is going to happen to you. Only good could come of it. Maybe nothing will happen. And my thing is, I would like to put it to a test, and then we can all report back the first Sunday in October. Did we notice a shift? Please make a shift happen. Right? I absolutely believe that I will notice a shift in my life because I'm committed to do that from now for the rest of my life. Why would I stop? And yet, for this experiment, if you will, just till the end of the month, till September 30th. And that's Friendship Sunday. What a great day. What a great day to come back and say to each other, wow, this happened, or wow, this happened. And so to know the basic law of prosperity basically is the basic law of life. You get to choose your life, your choice. You choose. You get to choose what you believe. You get to choose what you think. You get to choose, because of that, how you experience your life. That's a lot of responsibility. And yet, it's a lot of fun. Because when you start to give up all of the thoughts that were creating negative energy in your life, when you really start to release those back into the ethers because they aren't true, you create a better life for yourself. If you create a better life for yourself, you're creating a better life for your family. If you create a better life for your family, you got a better neighborhood. If you're living in a better neighborhood, your city has just changed, right? Basically, it flows outward. And it's got to start with us. It's the only place it can start. Nobody can change it for us. Sorry. It's got to start with us. And I mean that literally. If you want the world to change, got to change with you. You can't want world peace and go home and fight with your family. Right? You can't experience or desire love in your life and spend all your time gossiping about other people and how bad they are. The universe is listening all the time. It never shuts off. It never says, oh, that's a private conversation. I won't listen to that one. Always listening to each and every one of us, everything we say. So think about that. Who are you? What are you creating? What's your heart's desire? And how can you invite in more good for yourself that will provide more good for the planet? And isn't it interesting that really it is as easy as changing our thought? Doesn't cost anything, right? Change your thought. Change your thinking. Change your life. That is what Ernest Holmes said, who is the founder of this philosophy. And the first time I saw that, I thought, sounds so easy. Really, it sounds so easy. Change your thinking, change your life. Easy. It takes practice. If it was easy, we'd all be doing it all the time. It takes practice to listen to yourself, to really listen to, what is that thought? Why is it there? What the heck does that mean? Where did it come from? Is it my thought? Is it a thought that somebody gave me? Right? So think about that. It's a practice, and it's something we can all do, and it will be as easy as you choose to make it. How's that? Because I just changed my thought around it. So make it easy. Change your thinking, change your life. Make it easy. Just do it. Love, Nike. And so with that, we will pray. Close your eyes if you choose. Taking a deep breath in, and I'm going to use practice Karen Williams taught me, and that's to kind of move your feet on the floor. If your feet are on the floor, then just move your body in your chair. Just feel connected. Really feel connected. Really feel and listen to the beat of your heart. Listen to your breath as it goes in and out of your body automatically. There's nothing you're doing to make that happen. Just feel. Really feel into the energy in this room. Feel into the energy of the people sitting around you. Feel into the knowingness right here and right now that God is present, because God is here. God is in me. God is in you. We are it in manifestation in form. It is all of us, and yet we are not all of it. And yet everything is playing in that field of divinity. Just take a moment. Take a deep breath and go, whoa. God in form, yes. The power, the presence, the opportunity to manifest our heart's desire. That is the truth of who we are. We always have been, we always will be, we certainly are right here and right now. And there is a place within us that knows that. And so I tap into that. I tap into that power, that presence within me that knows that I am a manifestation of that good that I choose to call God. It knows the power of my thought. It knows the power of my words. And so from that place of knowing, I speak my word right here and right now, just saying yes. I say yes for each person in here. Each person in here, as I say these words are for you. I am bold. I am beautiful / handsome. I am confident. I am living outlandish joy. The universe is my playfield. And I'm showing up today to create a better place for me within me that will vibrate out and touch the hearts of others who now are willing to create a better place within them. And so I call it good because I know it's God. I just say thank you. Thank you for the power, for the presence, for the knowingness, and the greatness and the grandness of the divine as it lives and breathes and manifests into human form as each and every one of us. Brilliance. Absolute brilliance. And so I release all of these words, knowing that as it is spoken, it is already so. The universe has accepted it. In the mind of God, it's already manifested into form. My only opportunity in this moment, in this time, in this place, is to wait for hows that might show up, to do my work, to draw that manifestation out of the divine and make it manifest in form on this human plane. With that, I know it is done. I just say thank you. I let go, I let God, and together we say, and so it is. Namaste.